Have you warmed up?
Oh no, dude. Never warmed up.
Yeah.
Boom. Alright, let's go.
So, it's telling me to stop pedaling.
Yeah. Don't worry. You'll catch me on a soft pedal. But you're gonna have to do 400 for 20 minutes to catch me. Oh. Shoot. One second here. All right. All right. So are you wearing headphones or?
I'm not.
Oh. So
Um,
I'm gonna wake your wife up on this glorious.
Although at this point, I just reached over and grabbed some actually. I'm gonna see if the computer wants to work.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, use the headphones for audio.
Yeah. Right, say something.
Hello. Crackle jackal.
Say something else.
Hot dogs.
Nah. Okay, these front sockets don't work.
Okay.
No, I've just turned your volume down a bit. That's all.
You know what you could always do is, do you have Bluetooth headphones?
It's the what?
Do you have wireless headphones?
Yeah.
So
I did have some and then I trod on them.
So you can do this, is you can create 2 Discord accounts. Have one so you can hear the volume through your phone.
Yeah.
And then your mic through your computer. Or if you have Bluetooth on your computer, just have the audio go to your headphones and use your mic.
I'll have to play around with the settings, but these I did have some Bluetooth earphones which worked okay. They're touted for being sports. They're just from a cheap store, but they worked. But I broke one of the earpieces off. But they were quite useful because I rode the rear ones. So they sat on the inner ear.
Yeah. That's what I typically use when I'm not chatting. I have inner ear headphones.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, but if I was using an external mic, if I was going to use those.
I'm not sure why these sockets don't work. Maybe it's a setting I have to select.
It's a setting. Yeah.
I'll have to do that when I'm not riding.
Yeah, for sure.
And 20 meters behind you. 'Cause- you. 'Cause- 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 'Cause
We got to pick up our pace. We got to average 38 kilometers per hour.
Funny, after our race, I was convinced that I was drafting better during Matt's race. I was quite pleased with myself. It was just impossible to tell whether I'd managed it or not because dealing with the heat was just impossible. Thing is, the heat wasn't all that to write home about from probably your point of view.
Well,
but it started off at 22, and the garage, so goodness knows what it ended up at.
Yeah, that's gonna be toasty. I find it hilarious how long it takes your punk ass to get in the draft.
Yeah.
Cause like I'm like, your turn to pull.
Yeah.
I have no sympathy. I'm like, whatever. He's only waking up at 5:30 to ride with me. He probably went to bed at 4.
Right. With no warm up. I'm not pushing 500 watts for anybody until 10 minutes in.
Dude, you ain't pushing 500 watts this entire ride. I don't care. We're gonna be smart. Alright, at this gradient change, you're taking over.
Yeah.
Alright. I dropped my chain.
Drop your chain. What you done?
Yeah, drop my chain.
Oh, sorry, dude.
Like I said. You're
Yeah,
funny.
oh,
You're hilarious.
I'm only 190 watts, don't I? I'm just soft pedaling.
Huh. I'm surprised I dropped my chain during that because I did a Zwift group ride and more or less kind of like pushed it. I have an issue.
This is what you're doing right now is basically what I do in a draft. 50 meters off the back on the turn.
For real. All right.
Your turn.
Yeah, why not?
adventure, I guess. You mentioned somebody else. I wasn't sure how you last night when riding here at this time in the morning. Was somebody else going to be joining us or at some point?
No.
Okay.
He's on my local time, and he was like, screw you. He's also kind of screw you because we don't get to ride together anymore.
Yeah.
Because he's a coach, so he works from home, so he typically rides the same time I do when I would ride during lunch. So.
And you had the thoughtlessness to go and have a baby right in the middle of lockdown. I don't know.
Well,
things are tight for him too, you know.
Yeah.
Well, what is your kid's name again?
Macklin.
Pardon?
Macklin.
Macklin.
Macklin. Like Mac and then Lynn.
Macklin.
Macklin.
Oh yeah.
Macklin.
Macklin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Where'd you pick the name from?
Out of a hat.
Okay. It wasn't named after anybody or...
No. So the issue is both of our kids, their names start with M's. So we didn't want to have him be the odd man out with and the other names just had history with them. Like Matthew was kind of the front runner.
Yeah.
But all the Matthews I know are losers. Even a friend of mine, he was kind of like a hobbit, but
yeah.
As he got older, he got worse and worse. Like about the last time I hung out with him, we took him on a bike ride, and like my brother and I like nearly killed him. So just like out of exhaustion, like so him and I used to run cross country together in high school.
Yeah.
So we're like, well, this would be a fun way to kind of get that endurance going again, because he was getting chubby. And we rode. We only did like 50 miles, but that's a lot for a guy who hadn't, did much riding, and it's not like we were going fast. Like we averaged like 16,
Yeah.
But,
yeah, that's nothing.
And
that's nothing for even easy rides.
Yeah, well, it's easier for us now. Like back then, dude, if I was doing 18 miles an hour, I was going fast.
Yeah.
And now 18 miles per hour for me is like zone 1.
Yeah.
It's
I know.
It's bizarre, right? Like my brother's just like, yeah, you're an effing machine. I remember we did Seattle to Portland, and it's a 206-mile long ride. And I was riding, and there was these guys just struggling up this hill. And I was like looking at them and like talking, and they're just breathing hard. And my dad's like huffing and puffing, and he's just like, he's like, my son is so cruel. He's just spitting out jokes while all of us are just like suffering. And I'm like, spin to win, Dad, spin to win. But, because that was a ride where, so Skylar Street, he was riding with us.
Yeah.
And I had, and so him and I were training a lot. And so I was like, I totally thought he was going to be stronger, but that was like the big difference between like a guy who was like barely a B fitness versus, I was like an A, right?
Yeah.
So I'd be like, oh, dude, you can pull. I didn't realize, like, by me pulling and them just like having to hang on to my speed, like, I was just thinking, oh, they're just coasting. Nah, they were dying. I did 300 watts for 75 miles. Didn't even know. I looked at my power data. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
But I bonked hardcore.
We talk about outside rides. Whenever I'm riding outside, it's almost invariably over 2 hours. I don't often do 75 miles, but it's about 2.5 hours, around that, sometimes 3.5, if I've gone the wrong way. But yeah, power is usually around the 300 mark.
Yeah.
With effort, so I don't usually go harder than that when I'm out and about. There are sections that I do, but not for like 20 minutes straight, maybe. Or no, there are areas where maybe for 20 minutes it is harder than the others, but it's often like through and off or undulating roads. So there's not this constant. And then of course my rides usually include the warm up and wall down as well.
Yeah, it's solid.
Like the only one really that I've got of note this year, given everything's going on, was that ride that I've already sent you. From I think January, or at least early February.
So were you like all bundled up when you did that?
Pardon?
Were you like in like winter clothes when you were doing that?
Yeah, I would have been on that day.
Such a brave dude.
Probably been slower if I'd been in summer clothes, being so cold. It wasn't that cold a day, overall. So I don't think I wore anything thick.
Yeah, it'll be probably 2 months before I go outside.
I hope you go outside next week.
What the F are you doing? What kind of watch you putting out, bro?
340, 320.
Okay, never mind. I'm just slow.
No point blowing ourselves up here. That's right. Can't get used to the IT. Keep pressing the wrong button.
Yeah, that ride you did on Matt's ride. Brutal.
Yeah. I don't want those two to drop me though. They've actually put out more average watts than I did that day.
Yeah, you might have been just fatigued from our early morning ride. I mean, that was no small effort.
Well, Dan had raced the creek earlier on that day. Those day fellows had also ridden. And they were still able to recover for that.
Sorry, that was my wife. I'm back.
So, I can hear you muted in the background. I figured something happened.
Yeah.
You alright?
Yeah. Dropped my chain. Ah, but we were descending. What the hell?
Twice.
I think that's the issue is there's
I'm only doing 100 watts.
so I don't think I can change if I change a gear when there's like no tension on the chain because we're descending.
Yeah.
That's when I drop my chain.
Alright.
Because I don't have my front derailleur on at the moment, and I got my.
Oh, you don't?
Yeah, I got my Q ring on.
Yeah. If you don't have a narrow fat, you're going to need a derailleur to hold the thing on. Have you noticed it improve anything?
This is only my second ride.
So what did you think of the racing on IGT?
Oh, it was fun to watch. That's a brutal ass course, man.
Yeah. If I'm not doing like 700 watts up those hills, nothing happens.
that one's
And I
kind
was
of
just looking
wicked.
at it going, what's this? 400 watts, and that's 9 watts a kilo or something.
Oh, for some of the guys, but one of the guys, I think it was Mason. He's he's 80 kilograms. So.
To be fair, even if I was 70, I'd have struggled keeping up with people.
No, you would have been fine. Trust me. Because you only have to. Most of those guys were only hitting 8 watts per kilo. And you can do 8 watts per kilo on that climb.
Yeah.
I mean, when I'm fit, I can do 8 watts per kilo going up forward calm on Watopia. So,
Yeah.
so at 640 watts for the climb.
That's the level that I need to practice. 1 minute efforts followed by recovery at high intensity.
I think that's everyone's goal.
Yeah.
That's like the area that makes me like, that's the most uncomfortable area for me. It's like,
that's why I was thinking about doing that workout that I mentioned to you, because it's just about getting through it. As if I'm in an event, I don't have a choice. I got to do it. But doing it once, you can manage. Doing it the second time, like 15 seconds into the 3 minute effort, you're feeling a lactate burn, and that's on the second effort. So it's just a case of,
but you know,
like forcing your body to adapt.
Well, so here's one thing, is you might want to look at, you know, what lactate clearance actually does for you at that high of intensity. Because like lactate, you know, being able to buffer lactate may just, you know, be, you might just be able to adapt that at threshold levels. Like if you're throwing out anaerobic efforts, like it just might be like, you know, fatiguing those muscle fibers to where it's not a lactate accumulation issue, to where, you know, because who knows what, you know, let's just say, you know, that you do that training, like at what percentage do you increase your lactate buffer? So does it help you on repeated efforts, or does it minimize the lactate, you know, accumulation for
both are good, right?
Huh?
Both are good, aren't they?
Both are good?
If you can reduce lactate accumulation.
Well, so this is how it goes, right? Like, you got to look at how much benefit it has for you as a rider. So if you spend your time trying to get better at buffering lactate, but that time could be better spent adapting so you have higher power, or that you are able to become more resilient to high efforts through training those muscle fibers by high intensity, you know, like that's the whole thing, is like, does buffering lactate only going to help you during a TT, you know, where that's its greatest benefit, So I would investigate that, you know?
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you what, you're not lacking in like the freaking TT efforts by any means.
I don't know, sometimes I feel that.
But, you know, figure out what's going to make you that baller cyclist that you want to become. You know, that I can hang with the front of the A's in his whip race.
Yeah. Well, in many races, I'm finishing in the group. Obviously, sometimes I'll get dropped if it's a hilly one, but on a course that suits me, I can often finish with the group. Like with Nathan Gura, Casey Shoom, all that on the crit course. I finished a handful of seconds off because I had no sprint at the end, or ever. I made a rubbish attempt at one, and they all come standing past me. I finished 8th, but I was like a second off. Now, that was more or less FTP effort length of race. I don't know what it would be like had the race been longer. But it's I think finishing the race and being able to close gaps. If I can push like VO2 and recover from that to be able to repeat it again, that's much more valuable than FTP, I think.
Yes, but you need to learn how to surf the group so you can recover.
Yeah. Like right now, I'm at 370.
Yeah, which shouldn't have been the case. Especially like, dude, I'll keep going back to all our rides. Like there's no way you should have had higher watts per kilogram than me.
Yeah.
You know? You look at those times like Yorkshire, like I was drilling it over and over. And you still manage with higher watts per kilogram than me. And I'm like, how?
Riding with the brakes off.
So, you know, either your avatar is a pancake, which it could be. Maybe Zwift is after you. Maybe they don't like.
Do you think there's a point where it stops being linear? And the aerodynamic effects of a bigger rider are much more pronounced or exponential, given the typical group speed. So the aerodynamics might be absolutely spot on, but because of the speed that the group travels at, the effect of the aerodynamics is much more pronounced at speed, and therefore has much more effect on a bigger rider than it would in real life.
CDA is a scalar, so it's not exponential. So velocity is exponential. So you will notice a greater discrepancy in power between, you know, a rider with less CDA than you at higher velocity. Yes, of course.
Yes, but that effect is more pronounced on Zwift because of the speed that we're all travelling at, like it would do in real life. If we were able to travel at Zwift speeds in real life, the effect would be exactly the same.
Well, yeah. So, yes, if CDA...
With the exception of perhaps the accumulated speed of the blob, when they're actually working. The blob, I think, has the effect of a perfectly timed real-world chain gang, whereas in reality, everybody's in a massive blob not wanting to do anything at the front. But it rewards you for this, as if you're in this really well-disciplined chain gang.
So it's like if you're in a chain gang where everyone other than the person on the front is in a vacuum, because the whole issue is like you're able to coast in a draft, like you're in a bubble, right? Like you're able to cruise to the peloton like it's a solid windscreen and you're able to move, right?
Yeah.
So I mean that's the biggest problem, and that's why, like, I should just show you. If you're interested, I'll show you probably a good spot in a stream where you see when we were racing with the German dude, where the guys coming down in the tunnel just bombed that little tiny descent.
Yeah.
And you don't see anyone doing hard watts on the front, but they closed our 10-second gap in no time.
Yeah.
So, so to get back to your question, like, yes, if you were outside doing 50 kilometers per hour and you had a CDA of what you have on Zwift, and if someone else had a CDA of what they have on Zwift, solo wise, yeah, those light guys would crush us.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you go outside and the CDA is different, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
I think most of us are going to have a Zwift Tube CDA anyway, in which case.
and
We'll do like brick walls.
thing is, there's enough stuff being said by pros, about how Zwift, you saw Thomas Vigant, he's like, this is stupid. So you saw that post, right?
I saw something about Thomas again, time trial, commenting about something not being right with the aerodynamics.
Well, he was talking about how it's easier to drop the peloton.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's going to drop that TDF right. Yeah.
And what really pisses me off is people like defend how they're like, well, you can't expect Zwift. It's not the same as in real life.
Right.
And I'm like, well, if you like shitty racing, then sure, Zwift racing's the way to go. Because on top of poor aerodynamics, there is limited opportunities for attacks.
Yeah.
So, let's say I wanted, strategically, I wanted to lead out my sprinter. Well, I got two options. I got one where I can attack off the front and force guys to chase me down and hopefully give a sprinter, a chance. Or line up in the back of the freaking group and sprint through. But you know what? Everyone else is hanging out the back because it's a big vacuum back there. So if I attack off the front, even pulling the sprinter, it's not going to help him because there's just not that big vacuum for him to accelerate through.
But that's what I mean, that you could be sat in a group and not really even fully appreciate how much a vacuum it is until you're off. But then you don't feel the draft effect. So feeling wise or perceived effort wise, it's no different. But the speed you're going in a group sat at the back in that vacuum is very different to what the Tour de France riders would be riding at.
Well,
so taking off the front in a TDF would perhaps be a lot more possible, given that you've got corners that you take at your own speed, and also the speed difference of you on your own and a massive blob, I think would be very different, or in fact in real world, often faster to ride on your own than an undisciplined, self-centered group of riders. Whereas you won't find that in Zwift.
No. Well,
with Zwift, it encourages you for speed to be the most self-centered, lazy rider that you can be, and do nothing on the front. That's what all the training is about. All the Zwift Insider, how to race effectively, all the YouTube videos, all about be as lazy as possible, do as little work as possible, and then beat everybody on the sprint for the most part. Whereas, because that's basically all you can do on Zwift for the most part.
Yeah, it's the only card you have to play.
But if you try and ride in a group, or if a group is like that, the whole reason why you're motivated to ride off the front and attack off the front is because you're counting on that group looking at each other going, well, who's going to do something? I'm not.
Yeah.
So if Zwift had those dynamics, you'd see a lot different story when it comes to solo breakaways. But all you have to do is carry on sitting at 3.5 on the front on an A race, and you'll rope him in, even if he's doing 6.
I know. And it's funny.
What the answer to that is, I don't know. But I do think that the group speed needs to be reduced.
Well, the only way to do that is you have to create, and I've told Zwift this, I was like, you guys there's gotta be a penalty for coming around a rider. Like, there should be, like, when you're passing riders, there should be a stickiness effect that you have to put out watts to overcome. Because if you think about it, and it's a little bit different than a chain gang, right? Because it's, that dynamic's much different. But if you were having to navigate a group, it's really hard because you're actually doing like all these little micro accelerations, trying to go up front. It's very taxing. So if we did that, it would increase the incentive for people to have their nose in the wind, and because of the stickiness, you're not having riders coast through one another, perpetuating the speed.
Yeah. I think the speed of a group, like with the team time trials, should be affected by how well the team are riding in the group. So if everybody is riding like clearly for each other, making similar efforts in the pack, similar efforts on the front, rotating, that could be rewarded in the same way that a group time trial is, rather than everybody punching on the front and using Zwift to naturally send you through to the front on occasion. But I don't know. So the bigger the group is, the less incentive there is to be on the front.
Oh, for sure. Because
you can't.
Yeah, it's almost impossible for the group to split.
Maybe an answer is if you've got a teammate and you're all able to ride in each other, the effort to come past them is much bigger. You can still ride through, but maybe the effort to do so is harder than if you had 4 random riders.
For a teammate? Wait, what?
What's that?
Wait, what were you saying?
I said maybe when teams and clubs are a thing, what you could do, maybe it's possible to include some sort of race dynamics where if you were riding with more than 2 other teammates, or 2 teammates or more, and you were riding in a group on the front, controlling the speed, perhaps to incorporate some of what you were saying. If you got 3 teammates together, maybe the effort to come past them could be higher than if you were riding with 2 random people.
Oh.
To try and replicate the
blocking.
Yeah.
See.
You can still ride through, but the effort to do so, at least to break the sticky draft, could be higher. Obviously, if you're at the front, you're going to be riding harder than everybody behind anyway.
Well.
But at least there's some sort of reward for doing so.
So, but when you do that, you're having to introduce like another mechanism in that game, and that's positioning. So those riders would have to position themselves at the front, and they would all have to be in the wind.
Yeah.
So that'd be a tricky one to implement.
Yeah.
And it would have to be something you would have to enact as a player, because you wouldn't want it to automatically do that in the event that you're doing like a lead out. So you have a lead out train. So you have 4 guys on the front and they're like all in the wind. You know? Your lead out train's gonna suck. But it'd be cool to have elements like that in the game for sure. Hey dude, we're kicking butt.
It'd be great to have a little ghost of where we are on course.
Oh yeah, I forgot to look at that. Come on, get on the wheel.
I'm sure I used to find drafting easier before on vehicle. I don't know, maybe it's in my head.
What?
Maybe.
What?
I'm sure I used to find drafting easier back in the day.
Oh.
But it could be in my head.
It's in your head.
That's very...
You just have trouble saying my draft because I'm so strong.
We're there yet?
Stupid hill.
What are you putting out now?
496,
Yeah,
500,
thought so.
250. So did you convince your wife to move over here yet? It like hardly ever rains. So
You're making me talk, and I'm at 380.
oh dude, that's totally talking pace. I was talking to you when I was doing 500. Or a second. I thought we had this goal of like not crushing our legs.
Yeah,
Oh, we suck at it.
I won't. At 345 now.
Alright. Oh, I think we're on good pace though. I think our goal is going to have to be to average 40 kilometers per hour. Not now.
If our aim was to average 38, we're at 38.3.
Yeah, that's what I'm at.
Bear in mind, we're both warming up as well. During the race, we didn't go into this warm. So we had to take it easy to begin with. Draft is mean on this. 1 minute I'm on your tail and then suddenly I'm spat out. There's no gradual. That's what it is.
Nope, your face. It's like real life.
I just saw you slingshot. Ah. So maybe that's what's needed.
So the Whistler Grand Fondo World Championships was canceled yesterday.
I cancel the house move now.
You canceled what?
Cancel the house move.
Oh, yeah.
No point moving over there now.
Why is that?
Oh, no ride on my doorstep. And you can't ride in the daytime anyway, so you know. That's all my reasons right there.
Oh, gotcha.
Have you got one of those bike trailers? Or is it around, oh no, around you? It doesn't really lend itself to cycling, does it?
No. No, I got a buddy here who I got on the Zwift. He's older though. He's like 50.
Yeah, I remember.
But so he's got a power meter now, and he bought some 50 millimeter Reynolds.
Yeah.
A wheel set to put on.
Nice.
I think he's either got a Tarmac or a Venge. So he's got, and he's lost some weight since getting on Zwift. So
Yeah.
and he's like you. He'll like just go. He'll go and do like a 100-mile ride. But he used to. Him and his brother were collegiate racers, and his brother's still really fast. So he's like, I'm gonna kick his ass. So
I like 100-mile rides. I don't do them often. One of my best ones was a ride to Wales, which was 146 miles to me.
holy shit.
Round trip. And we're taking some photos, riding with a group of older guys. Stopped halfway around for a cake at one of the guys' friend's house. And I was taking a lot of turns on the front. And as time went on, everybody peeled off to their own homes, and I had the 20-mile ride home. And all through the city, that was in between where I was and home, there was like this long stretch with all these traffic lights, and every single one of them got me. Every single one sprinted off the line, and I swear I got a breakthrough. And it just felt so good. I hadn't made any real hard efforts the whole day. And I just felt like a sprint endlessly. It's brilliant.
Huh.
Yeah, one of the nicest days I've had out on a bike. Countryside was stunning.
I bet.
Wore my Kiss jersey.
I got a 100 and, gosh, what is it? I think it is a 120-mile ride. I think I'll be doing with Deborah this September. With Deborah Parker from KRT.
Hmm?
You know Deborah Parker, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully we can do a ride together, like a Fondo,
Yeah.
and hopefully this time, like I've told you about this, where she like had to pull me for 2 hours. Cause
You think she'll pull you?
yeah, like I was in her draft for 2 hours, like
Alright.
I crashed so bad. So did I ever tell you about this ride?
I remember you mentioning it, but I don't remember you saying about giving me many details on it.
So she came down with two buddies from Canada.
Yeah.
And so like she had finished like the third overall female the previous year.
Yeah.
And so she was committed to being the first overall female, you know. And I
Yeah.
was like, all right, yeah, I'll help you with that. And what kind of helped us was there was emergency construction on the route, so they had to actually add some road, which was like steep as hell. It was stupid climbing, you know, and it was like all for naught, right? So like it's like you climbed up and like immediately went down. So
Yeah.
it was like these evil rollers along the lake. So we go up there, and 90% of the group, of like the competitive group, was shed through these, and she was like the only female. And then the group on one of these climbs pushed it, and Deborah can ride like near her theoretical FTP
Yeah.
for like hours, which leads me to believe that she just doesn't push herself to like the proper level, right? And
Yeah.
then she has like 0 VO2 max. Like she gets dropped in crits and all kinds of shit, but she'll destroy TTs. Well,
Yeah.
she gets dropped on this climb, and so I'm like pedaling and I'm looking back, and one of her Canadian friends, the last one, was kind of trying to pace her up, and so I drop back and I start trying to, you know, pace her up as best I can, and his legs go out, and I'm like, come on, and he just like shakes his head. And so we get to the top of the climb, and they're like 100 meters out, and I'm like, okay. And I just like look at Deborah. I'm like, hey, if I go full bore, you're gonna hang in my dress, right? And she's just like, give me a minute. And sure. And dude, I just punched it like for 15 minutes. It was like a stupid Zwift race. And I was just freaking just going. And we caught him, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. And you know, that cost me big time. Like, and then we get to the rest stop, and they were asking like, hey, how far is the group behind us? And the guy's like, 15 minutes. And so, and they're like, oh, okay. So everyone just stops, and they're like, just hanging out. Well, if we wouldn't have gone so damn hard, like, we could have cruised and caught him, right? Because the Canadian that we dropped came in right before we were about to leave. I was like, oh. And then, of course, 70 miles in, my legs just start like cramping and like unity with my cadence. And we were on flats, and I was just like, oh no. So it was pretty brutal, and I almost wrecked because I couldn't pay attention anymore. My head was down. I rode over like a small like branch and almost just like flipped. The only thing that saved me was my thigh getting wedged between the wheel and the down tube.
Yeah.
When I stumbled.
All right.
It was pretty amazing, like how I did not crash.
Oh, I feel like that in a race, it's hideous.
It was the worst. So yeah, I told her, I was like, I don't know if road racing, you know, like, you know, road racing, like the short durations is her best thing. I told her, I was like, you need to do like endurance gravel stuff if you can ride at that tempo for ever. I told her like on multiple occasions, just go without me. Let me call my wife so she could pick me up.
Well, if you went hard for 15 minutes and you don't know what you're putting out, you're probably pushing way too hard.
Oh, dude, I was. And so this was a 5-hour ride, right? It took like 5.5 hours. You know my longest ride?
Anybody would have thought you'd done this in your lunch hour and we're quitting after 45 minutes?
Yeah. So all my training for like the previous 3 months were all like no longer than an hour.
Hey, you want to know something?
Huh?
I'm quite hungry.
Okay, I'm not. You want to stop and get something to eat?
Oh, maybe not hungry. Maybe just slow and tired.
Do you want to get
Maybe
some?
No, because I've had 2 gels already.
You've also had a hard week. You probably have a lot of training stress this week.
Yeah, but I think the one thing about riding indoors doesn't do is teach you how to just dig a little bit. The temptation just to get off whenever you want.
Oh yeah, and just totally busting out on the bike.
I gotta say, just riding the other day, just having that wind on my front, it was just, I just missed that. Hot day, but it's like once you start moving, it doesn't matter how hot it is. Nothing I can replicate. I'm gonna be messing around with a MVHR from work soon. It's not an aircon, but hopefully it can do the whole extract and bring in fresh air from a different source.
Oh, for sure.
Rather than just circulating what's in the garage, which is what it's doing at the moment.
Yeah, I have a portable air conditioner that vents into the.
You find that helps?
Oh yeah, dude. That and the ice socks, man. But see, for me, I don't have that that strong of a reference as you do. Like, I know outside I sweat way. Well, I can't say I sweat less because it evaporates, right? I can't quantify how much I sweat, but yeah, it certainly feels better outdoors than indoors for sure. And you know,
I gotta say, I feel a lot better sitting around 320, between 280, 320 on feels like a very comfortable chat pace.
Oh yeah. What's your average?
Sorry?
What's your power average?
311.
Oh my god. I'm winning.
What are you?
313.
Wow.
Oh my goodness, Toby. This is a first. Your legs must be destroyed.
Or it's me being uber efficient in the draft. No, it's not that.
No, actually, you've been much better this go around.
Yeah.
But I think I've been pulling a little bit
It's
more.
also, I'm not sure whether using the Neo's power is better than using the power for the crank. I'm not sure.
Well, it's less spiky.
It should make a difference, or it should be better on the power meter. But maybe because the... Oh, hang on. Oh, yeah. It might be because the power meter and the controllable trainer are both working in unison. But I don't know.
No. No, I think it's actually due to the slow response to power, the averaging of it for the Neo.
Yeah.
That way you don't overshoot or undershoot, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
Because as you can tell, you don't really coast that well. Like, so having that bleed off or bleed in of power helps keep you in the draft, you know? That's my theory.
Average is now 309.
All right, I'll let you get on the front then.
I got to 49.9 kilometers an hour.
Yeah.
Quite good. Foot hurts. You know that feeling when you're overheated and your foot swells? I got a corn on my foot.
Oh.
And it pushes against the outside of the shoe. And it's a good indicator of dehydration.
Interesting. Oh, so your foot swells when you dehydrate?
I used to get it all the time in Barbados, so it was really humid.
Interesting. I think my big toe just dislocates when I get dehydrated.
You what?
I said, I think my big toe just dislocates when I get dehydrated.
Really?
Yeah, so it doesn't dislocate, but it subluxes. So
Yeah.
it partially comes out. It sucks.
Oh. That's an interesting indicator. Your toe falls off.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if it's dehydration. All I know is I'll wake up with my toe like that. I'm just like,
So if you're in Greece, let's say, and you're on holiday, and you're walking along in your sandals, and your toe shoots off like it's one of those Nerf guns. You go, oh, you know what, fellas? Need a drink. I don't think anybody would argue with you.
Dude, that'd be an awesome, like, trick at a party.
Oh yeah. I mean, my party trick, all that was, and I don't even smoke, was to take somebody's cigarette and extinguish it on my finger. That's all I could do. But then I realised it wasn't that. Somebody mentioned that over a lunch break when you could smoke in your lunch quarters. And I cut my finger through a tendon. And after it healed, to this day I don't have full feeling in that finger. And he mentioned, oh, it'd be a cool party trick. You could put out cigarettes with your finger, pretend you're hard. I thought, oh, what's your cigarette? And did it. I go, you know what, yeah. But actually, you can do it on any finger, it's not that hot. They're not that hot anyway. And you just rotate it and move it to a slightly different part of your finger, so it's no big deal.
Huh, good to know. If ever.
You're up in front again. No.
I can win a pinching contest.
You can what?
I can win a pinching contest.
Thinking?
Pinching. Like, you know,
Oh, you've got a high pain threshold?
I can't feel pinches.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I can pull my...
I'm freewheeling. I'm not moving.
Ah, my pee-pee went numb.
Okay. Sorry, I just had to sort my shoe out.
That's fine. Yeah.
Opened it up by about a centimetre. Cheers.
Yeah, I pretty much... Do you remember that movie Men in Black?
Yep.
So you know how the alien, like, wore that dude like a costume?
Yeah.
That's like how I am.
It's my favourite scene.
So I can like pull my skin, like it's like I'm pulling it off my body.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's
that has a name.
Yeah, it's that Ehlers-Danlos. It's the same thing.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
affects joints as well.
Yeah. So.
Is that why your toe pops out?
Yep.
Cool. Do any other limbs like self-project?
I woke up with my shoulder dislocated.
That's less cool.
So it hurt though. Like during the day, I was like, "Oh, what the hell?" And I went to bed, and I woke up, and I was like, "Ah, fuck!" And
yeah,
I went to work, and I had to pop it back in. And
that feels more Die Hard than Men in Black.
Oh yeah. Well, I was.
No, not Die Hard. Not Die Hard.
You're thinking of Lethal Weapon.
Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, but that's not how you put your shoulder back in.
No.
Oh, all you do is raise your arm, like your hand above your head, and you grab your head and you pull.
Yeah.
And it puts it back in.
The late 80s are that worried about accuracy. So much as big explosions.
Wait, what?
No, I was just saying, back in the 80s, 90s, when they're making movies, I think they were less worried about accuracy in true life.
Oh yeah.
As they were about the gas explosion.
Yeah. For sure. How you feeling back there?
Just feeling a bit drained.
Alright.
But I haven't got an excuse.
How about we just cruise in? What do you say?
No, I should push through it.
Oh yeah.
I'm not having my body tell me what I feel. Screw you, body. You know what I tell you. That's straight.
So, do you have any red stars on Exert?
No. Don't think so.
Probably like you're fresh as a daisy.
Yep.
That shit's funny.
I did do 300 squats earlier though, does that matter?
What was that? What?
I did 300 squats earlier.
You did it like 5 a.m.?
Yeah, it's my warm-up.
Awesome. Yeah, that might have a minor effect on it.
You up 400 right now?
No, 377. Now I'm pushing for funsies. Don't know why. Slowing down. It's hard to imagine, what was it, a year ago?
Yeah.
When the guys who did Paris-Roubaix averaged 27 miles per hour.
Yeah.
Effing nuts. Fastest ever.
Insane. Yeah, I'm definitely on the verge of a bonk. Funny. Don't know why.
You probably went to bed late.
Oh yeah, it did. 1:45 I saw. No good reason. I'm wide awake at 10:30 and then next thing you notice, then I get an email saying my invoice for the 1 day's work can be paid early if I put my invoice in. And then he returned it back half an hour later. There's a mistake. So I said, start everything up and do it again. Yes, definitely the nap time feeling I'm feeling. Not a bonk at all. My fan's just sucked up a plastic bag. Did you hear it?
No. That's a funny saying.
Should tidy up my garage.
You're probably going to be wanting to take a nap.
I'm going to go straight to bed after. If I can even stand up in the shower, I'll be amazed. I think I should have just stuck with the bike I knew. Are we still going to beat our time?
I don't know what our time was last time. Because my time was all skewed.
Well, we're at 1:35, more or less, 1:34 and a half.
Yeah.
So it will be a couple of minutes. Uh, how are you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling fine.
If you want to like punch it, you go ahead.
Oh no,
So,
dude. Nah. Let's just chill.
uh,
Yeah. Dude, let's ride in at 200. All right?
uh,
I'll just
I feel like this in a way. It's really annoying. This isn't even a big cat.
dude, you would like the bee cats would be like 5 minutes behind us. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm beginning to believe literally everything I've read telling me that tiredness really has an impact. I've never fully appreciated it, but my heart rate feels fine. I don't feel dead. I just feel physically incapable of putting anything out. It's such a strange feeling. I guess you've got that to come. The little one.
Oh yeah. Well, my wife's been taking up all the slack on that. I've been watching the two kids, and that's freaking mentally exhausting. They're like not listening, and my daughter's like struggling now because like we're transitioning to where, you know, the kids would always snuggle up with one of us, right? So they each get one parent, and we put her in bed. And now that's come to an end. My daughter's like, and it just killed me too, because she was just like, who's gonna snuggle with me? And I was like, ah, fudge. I'm like, I'm not ready for this either. Like, I still want to snuggle with you.
Yeah. Okay, this is an error I can train. Riding when fatigued.
I only have 3 minutes left.
3 minutes, 450 watts, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we're dropping below 38. It's heartbreaking to see. That's not going to happen. No. 38. What, 38?
37.9 on my screen.
Yeah, same. What's your average?
305.
301, so I can't have that drop there. Come on. I'm making old man noise.
38 average.
It's hilarious. Oh,
Really?
I can't. No, I can't do it. Can't do it. Can't do it.
Well, I
no.
average 38.
Oh. That was a weaker sprint. I couldn't hold the bike steady. Well, we can certainly improve on that.
Well, I think we improved. Did we did 38
Oh
average
yeah, I
last
can
time?
improve, brother.
Yeah, no. I think that was good work.
What time is there?
What time is it here?
Yeah, 11:30.
Yeah.
Oh, 22. Yeah. Oh, cheers for the hour and a half time. That was a joy for you, no doubt.
Whew.
I'll try and go to bed early, honestly, and actually get to sleep. Funny thing is, I was in bed before 11, and then all that invoice nonsense happened. Then you're wide awake. I'm not looking at the time. And I felt my eyes drop and thought, oh, that's usually a sign that it's late. Sure enough, it's like 12:30.
Yeah.
A bit silly.
What time does your
I
wife go
think
to sleep?
what we used to do is have an alarm on, which would beep at 10, and then of course you'll dismiss it, but at least you knew what time it was.
Yeah.
But the idea was, oh, let's start getting ready for bed, and we can at least read or something before we go to bed.
Well, does your wife stay up late too?
Only because of my bad injury.
Oh, okay.
She needs to sleep more than I do.
I see. Whew. Oh, that was good work, man. Good work.
Well, let's go one step at a time. At least I'm getting up at this nonsense time in the morning. do something productive when I'm actually up is another thing we can tackle, but at least I'm not.
Yeah, and now, I mean, like, this is a nice, like sweet spot, like tempo ride, which is pretty good. I mean, I'm all for like I'm as a time crunch cyclist, this is about all I can do to really improve base, and then the higher end stuff I'll get with some 30-30s.
Yeah.
30-30s actually they're like super beneficial. They actually like help your VO2 max and your anaerobic system. They're mean stuff.
Specifically, what is a 30? I keep hearing 30-30, so I think we've even talked about it. But what zones or what power are we talking about?
It's all out. It's all out for 30 seconds.
Okay.
And then recover, like I said, it's like move your legs. Like that's what you do for the next 30 seconds. And so you do.
What sort of power realistically
dude?
30 seconds.
It's whatever. It's whatever you can put out for 30 seconds. Like it's go as hard as you can.
So how do you find that yourself? What are you managing?
I'm not doing that right now. No. You don't do 30-30s until you get closer to peak fitness. It's a killer on your body.
Yeah.
But so I did those. So that was all during the time when when I did when I told you I could do like 8 watts per kilogram, like forward comm. That's when I was doing stuff like that. So David Owen was prescribing that crap to me. And I was like, and he's like, you got to take it easy the day before, and you got to take it easy the day after. And I'm like, whatever. And like, if you don't get nearly the benefit out of it, because like your body just needs to recover.
Yeah.
And and dude, it's amazing, like what you get from it. You don't have to do them for that long. You just do them for a couple weeks, and it's bam.
Right. So at 8 watts per kilogram, how long did you manage that for?
Minute 30, minute 20. No, is it minute 30? It was a minute 30.
Okay.
So it was 600 and it wasn't 8 watts per kilogram rounded up. It was 641 watts. So.
Right.
And what's funny is like, I told you about this. It was because it was like when you were, it's like when you first came onto the team, and you're like, let's do that comm challenge. And then I was like, oh, and I was just strolling around on Zwift, and I was like, yeah, might as well. And I just pounded the thing, man.
Yeah.
And what was crazy, so here's the thing. So after doing that training from David, I was doing like 700 watts for like 30 seconds, and it didn't hurt.
Okay.
It was the weirdest thing. Like, I was like, dude, I feel good. Like, this is wild, you know?
Yeah.
So, of course, like, power was coming down after that, but it was like, wow, you know? So, they help, but it's like, so, yeah. So you just, it's one of those things where it comes and goes quick, you know?
Yeah.
So.
That's why they talk about building base, isn't it? For the building a foundation, which, the upper end and HIE are easy to train by comparison to building up threshold. Threshold takes a lot longer to build up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you've always got that to fall back on if your power's not up there. But the sprint, they focus on last, don't they? On the off season. My heart rate didn't pick up at all for that race. Average 302. Yeah. Polarity rating was 91 to 1. 99 to 1, sorry.
Wait, you're what?
Polarity ratio.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
So, certainly nothing magical there. But,
Nah,
there we go.
just some stress.
Yeah.
You know, just
So 135. 135.6. What did we do it last time? Oh, 136.52 last time.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Average 301. In fact, identical. That's really strange. Average power 303 last time and 302 that time.
Yeah, but I pulled more this go around. Like you pulled a
Yeah.
lot during the end of the last go, and we were pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were pretty tuckered, both you and I.
Yeah.
This time at least I was a little bit fresher going into the.
Well, the time difference. The time difference was